going to show you how to do the paint up on a Hasbro Millennium Falcon. It's actually quite easy. It's a little time consuming, but it's really fun to do. Once you get to painting, the time really flies by. I'm going to show you all the materials you're going to need, but first I'm going to show you step one. Obviously, for my Millennium Falcon, I used the stickers that came with the Falcon. So what you're gonna do first is you're gonna put all those damn stickers on there. There's a lot of them. And it took me maybe an hour or so to do all those really ridiculous stickers. And these ones in here, those ones were the pain in the butt. So I would suggest if you have an X-Acto knife or a pen, you're gonna put the stickers in there using the X-Acto knife. Very, very carefully stick one end of the sticker, so like the top portion, stick it in there, and then lay everything else down with the X-Acto knife slowly but surely to get it in there right and flat, because you don't want it to stick to the to the side or something like that and not be able to get it out. But once you have the stickers on there, then from there you can start painting. Here are the paints that I used for my Millennium Falcon. Now I'm going to show you the technique that I used in just a second, but first these are the paints that I used. I like to use acrylic paints because they're waterproof, and once they dry and you weather everything, it looks beautiful. You can either get you can get glossy paints, you can get flat paint. It really doesn't matter in the end, because you're going to be using a sealant that's flat. If you look at the Millennium Falcon in the movie, it doesn't glint or shine. It's a dirty, dirty ship. So you're going to want to have this sealant, which will protect everything at the end, and also make it flat if you've got any shininess on there. And for paintbrushes, now I like to use these ones with like the round tip on them. You don't want to use the flat ones. I've been painting for years, but I still don't know the names of the brushes, which is kind of funny. But they're medium-sized brushes. That way you're not doing all the little tedious work when you're getting the black paint in there, but it doesn't cover too much area, so you're able to focus on things that you want to. So and also you're gonna need a rag. This is actually the exact rag I used for the Falcon. So yeah, just make sure you're not gonna use that rag anymore because it got dirty. All right, now what I'm gonna show you here is how I do the weathering process. This is just a little test piece that I can show you with. This is the wing of my Slave 1 Boba Fett ship, and this is the brush that I will be using. So what you're gonna do, you can't see it, it's right over here, but I have a little you're gonna squeeze out some black paint. So you take your piece, whatever you're doing, whatever you're painting, you're gonna get black paint on the tip of your brush, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna slather it across just like that. And you can get a nice good coating up in there. Just make sure you get all up in the crevices. You gotta get all in the crevices because that's where it counts. Crevices, crevices, crevices. This is what's gonna make it pop. Okay? So put your brush down carefully. Don't get anything. And you're gonna take your rag and you're gonna buff it. You don't want to get down in the crevices. You just want to buff the surface off. Just get that excess, all that excess paint. Yeah, there you go. All that excess paint is gonna come off, and I don't know if you can see it, but see how it's dark in the crevices? It gives like a grime and a shadowing on the piece or wherever you're doing it on, and it makes it stand out, and it also makes it look dirty, weathered, makes it look like it's been used, like it's like it's an actual ship, not some toy. So I'm gonna do another example. See that is this area right here has no paint on it, doesn't really stand out. So I'm gonna put some Just dab it on there, dabbing it in all the crevices. Put it down, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wipe it off. There we go. That looks a lot better. Okay, there we go. Okay, see how it stands out now? It's dark. Now, some people may not like the, some people may not prefer how heavy, you know, the darkness is. So you can use like a dark gray or a gray or something like that. But I prefer the black, especially with the Millennium Falcon, because that's, you know, the way that reference photos look. But first, what I did first on the Falcon was I took the metallic and I did a base coat of the metallic, so weathering the Falcon like that. So I don't know if you can see it. All right, so when weathering the Falcon, what you're gonna want to do obviously is get all that black into the, you know, the crevices and cracks, and that's what's gonna make all this stand out. Now these ports here, I got down in there with the black, but then I also, around the edges, as soon as I was done buffing, I lightly took my brush and I got all the excess paint off of it to where it was like dry brushed, and I dry brushed black around the edges on these ports here to give it that dirty, smoky, you know, battle worn sort of look. And let's see, where are we going next? Now for the stickers, don't worry about getting paint on those. Get paint on them, get them dirty, because they're bright. The stickers are really, really, really bright, and you don't want them that bright. So get the dirt and grime on the stickers with the black and the silver. Buff them off because you don't want excess on there, and make sure you got you'll see like a haze of black or gray on there, and that's a good thing. Now the obviously it's gonna take you a little while, but you're gonna have to go around the entire thing. I started with the bottom because it made more sense to, considering there's a radar dish on the top, it made more sense to do the bottom first, let that dry, and then flip it over and do the top. So you also want to make sure, I made sure and I looked up reference images of the Millennium Falcon, the actual Millennium Falcon in the movie, so that because there are some stickers that didn't come with this Falcon, so you have to put the extra decals on there. One example would be here. There's a red detailing that goes right here on the access hatch that was not in the package, and then there's some red here that I did, and you can do that by hand with try and take black paint and red paint, acrylic paint, and mix it together to get a consistency that matches these, you know, these decals here. Now, as soon as you're done putting all your black on there, actually, let me show you the exhaust, the engine back here. So for the engine, there's a lot of dirt and dust that goes on the engine. So obviously you're gonna weather it first, buff out the excess, then you're gonna dry brush. Use your reference images, of course. You're gonna dry brush these smoke trails onto the Falcon. And when you dry brush the smoke trails on there, you want to make sure that as soon as it's on there, leave it be, let it dry, because if you rub it too much, you're gonna mess up your work. You don't want to do that. So let it dry, let it stay there, then it'll become permanent. Now if you ever feel like you put some grime where you didn't want to, or you put a little bit too much, you can dab a little bit of water, or like I do, just dab a little bit of spit on a paper towel or something like that, and then you can buff it off of there, buff the black off of there and clear the spot off. But do it quickly because acrylic likes to set in and it doesn't like to come out. So, oh, yeah. Now, there's other detailing as soon as you're done with the black washing. There's other detailing that you're going to have to do. There is rust, and there's also meteor damage and things like that. But use your reference images for those things. I can just show you an example here of some meteor damage that I did. I used the black and I created like little dots or little pock marks essentially with the black, just the illusion of pock marks, and dry brushed the streak marks of where the meteor or asteroid whatever would hit and then streak off. And then from there I did just a dab of silver in each one to give it that look of dented metal. And rust, there's a lot of rust all over it, but use your reference images. And you're gonna use a dry brushing technique for the, what is it called? I don't remember what this is called. I just call it rust. I call this rust. I don't know what it's called exactly. It's a metallic acrylic something or another. But this is what I used for the rust, okay? You're going to dry brush the rust wherever you see rust on the reference image. And then once that's done, let the entire thing dry. I'd give it about 7-8 hours just to sit there and dry and set in. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your sealant. You're going to spray the entire thing down. That's gonna need, you need to let it sit for 12 to 24 hours after you spray this. It dries quickly, but I like to let it sit to harden so that way you don't have any issues later. And as soon as it's done drying, then you'll have a nice slick clean, I mean you can touch it and do all that stuff you want, but it'll be nice and set in ready. So that, my friends, is how you paint the Millennium Falcon, the Hasbro Hero Series Millennium Falcon. And if you guys have any questions or any concerns, feel free to message me and ask me anything. Have fun, because I really did.